I wish this would switch over to fire. Fire? I wanna take you to burn. I am the Lord of Hellfire, and I give you fire.
Line drive to center.
You fuck. Bastard, man. Fire. I want to get my Zane up because that's the only one I was playing on stream. That's the one I was playing on stream. So you got an Amari and a Moe's, but you... So did you stream their journey to 50? Where is he? Yo, something else. What up, something? You gonna be streaming the Halloween event tonight, man? It's pretty cool so far.
You should give up, Balti!
This man, this man knows the spirit of Halloween. His legs and these stairs, this is where the end of reality begins and the start of the spooky, spooky skeletons. It shivers up your spines. Starts. Nah, likely not. Might be playing it, but don't think I'm down for streaming it. Down for streaming the Halloween event? Really? How come? You have all 4 at 50 now? Damn, nice. Congrats, Ashton. Holy shit. When did you do that? I didn't even know you were still playing Borderlands 3 all that much. Well, playing with my buddy offline. Moe's I worked on when I got sick a couple weeks ago. That's how I got 2 characters to 50.
Let's never do that again.
This guy's been... Jesus, these anointed are... being pretty fucking annoying. Alright, I think that I figured out if we just go this way and get on the road and just follow the road. Haven't been feeling streaming lately, no clue why. But I just haven't had the drive to. It'll come back. It's gotta come back some. You were killing it, man. You were working really hard. You were getting closer and closer to partnership. Don't let resistance beat you. Don't let resistance beat you something. You've worked too hard. You've worked too hard to get to this point. Excuse me. Yeah, about that generic robot we killed for the 75th time. You know it. You know it. So did you take them through normal TBHM, or did you do like the offline leveling thing? Ashton? Did I pass it? I think I must have passed it. I passed it. Moxie, we're finally back. It took us way too long. Fuck, these guys are good at turning. Please tell me we're on fire again. Because if I can get the... Yeah, there we go. Fire. I can melt these guys with. And the Nighthawk wants to cooperate. Do you think that you will be... You say you'll probably be doing the Halloween event, though? Oh, damn it. Gotta kill the ghost. You gotta be quick about it. That ectoplasm. Oh! Oh! What happened? I used to have that problem too. Fuck. So yesterday I tested that Moe's bottomless clip out with the nerf of the flacker. Yeah, they reverted that nerf today. At the Tesco. Yeah, it's back to taking 1 bullet per shot.
Could use some cover!
Hey, there's a ghost. Badass ghost. I want to see that loot ghost again. Alright, so they resist this. What a fire? Maybe they are weak to fire. Maybe that sweet, sweet ectoplasm.
Too close! Well, look at the state here.
I wish there was a kill counter, man. They got rid of the stats. They brought stats, the Borderlands 1 remastered. There was actually stat tracking leaderboards, and I should have went ahead and just carried them over. Where do we need to go? I didn't have to reload all that often at all. I basically did it. It was working just fine. I have no idea what everyone was complaining about. Oh, that's weird. Better plays a lot of modes. He's got a really good one. He was saying it wasn't working, so that's strange. There's a really heavy-handed Moe's nerf that went into effect today, but hopefully it was a bug, because the grenade build effectively died. Just really hoping that's a bug, because I think that's a shitty nerf.
In my spare time, I like to.
Yeah, not sure if it'll be tonight, but I definitely will be doing it at some point. A lot of stuff for the next couple of days, but I'll be hopping around it all. A lot of stuff real life, a lot of stuff with Destiny and other games. What are those notes, by the way? I'll put them on our Discord.
Tell Kilovolt this is a token of my affection.
Hey, you can look at me when you talk to me, Moxie. It's okay.
And anywhere else you feel is so deserving, if you catch my drift. Shoot him in the dick. That's the drift.
I would like to just look at straight up patch notes. Whatever. It'll be a Reddit link, but it's the same shit. Because there's actually nothing in the notes that would suggest that they meant to do what they did to Moe's. So here's hoping. If that bug for the grenade build is just a bug and not a nerf, I will be happy. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to rebuild my Moe's again. Yeah, hopefully a bug. Both real life getting busy as fuck, Outer Worlds, Destiny friends trying to get shit going, etc. Trying to get everything, but not enough time in the day. Yeah, Outer Worlds tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be exciting. So be honest with me, something. Which game do you feel more motivated to play on a day-to-day basis, Borderlands or Destiny 2? And if it's Destiny 2, what does Borderlands need going forward for that to switch for you? How did that guy just not get melted? I think it's becoming a spread when I ADS. I don't know how I didn't notice that sooner. Okay, did we just fall in?
Hey, where's Moxie? She's the lucky winner, not
The Bone Zone.
To all our
Perfect.
new viewers,
The
you
Bone
tuned into
Zone.
Who Wants to Bang a Bazillionaire? Hosted by me, Killerbolt. I'm also the grand prize.
It's showtime. Give Killabolt that token file.
She'll be missed.
Something cool about this event, because I just started reading your comment, is it did add a new loot type called Tear. So there is something to collect, and there's actually a bunch of challenges to do, not just a quest line. I feel like my main filled with weapons and stuff, plus full bank. I'm stagnant. I'm also saving a couple playthroughs for friends who haven't picked it up yet or haven't got back on the game. Right on. That makes sense. They've confirmed that we are gonna November patch is gonna bring a bigger bank and some more specific loot farm areas.
Kino was quite a looker. Too bad.
They're gonna more than double the bank, they said, which is good. They need at least 200 spaces, honestly, because there's 167 legendaries in the game. And then you talk about class mods and you talk about uniques. Gotta have some wiggle room in there, and then just keep going from there.
Consider your circuits fried.
I just wanted to be loved. Come here, Slim.
Don't worry, you can still look at me.
Did you just not set that up on the ground at all? Apparently not.
There you are, you big ugly.
Oh, the thing's just not doing anything to his shield. But I definitely understand what you're saying. Try this to begin with, but God, I'm just not doing much damage to him. Where's my Lauda? Maybe this will get the job done. Well, I'm doing touches of damage at least. Where ordinarily I was doing none.
You, right here.
There we go. There's a little bit of damage.
Shockwave.
Luckily we'll get back in more regular when when they drop that patch. That'll be, they said, end of November, so that'll be a little bit. I'm just looting and trashing everything. Feels useless sometimes, especially because I did all the missions 100% of the game. Yeah, it ties back into what we were talking about to begin the stream again. They don't have those hardcore endgame activities that Destiny has to drive a player forward. Like having a Proving Ground specific set, having a raid boss with pearls and effervescence, having the Slaughter Dome have its own unique rewards, being able to just keep playing as a group, not having to save a quick go to the main menu. Being able to do those types of activities over and over and over again as a group, trying to get these really high-end rewards, just doesn't exist yet. Just doesn't exist. Are you upset about that? Are you overall happy with where the game's at? Do you feel like what you wanted was to still be playing this game, you know, for months on end?
Time for a barrier.
Freaking tough.
That is my brother's joy in Destiny 2 as well. The weekly stuff and how he and his girl stood up and claimed that game. Weekly stuff, man, this is a stronger end game right now, for sure, right? There's always a little something to do, and something to go for, and something to build, and something to go for, so. That's something I think Borderlands has got to look at going forward. Because like I was saying too, is yesterday I was happy, got to farm, and I'm happy today. Like, this event's cool and I'm having fun playing the game. But there's just this lack of objectives. I don't feel like I'm growing power. I don't feel like there's items I really want to farm or need to farm for any kind of builds. things are getting nerfed so often anymore that you can't rely on trying to find something OP because clearly they want to nerf that shit into the ground. If you do find something cool. The improving grounds affected our strikes, but you just get purples and everybody can just get legendaries and twice in half the effort, so you don't do proving grounds. Slaughter Dome seems alright. Which again, you just do that to farm up a bunch of legendaries, see what you get, and move on for the day. So there's no like really focused core endgame activities that are challenging, but bring really great rewards or really unique items, bragging rights items, items to make, you know, like a theorycraft build, stuff like that. It exists right now. So people are either getting bored quick or they're moving on quick, and Destiny's winning in that way, and that sucks. For me, that sucks. I would like a jetpack that takes up your grenade slot. That'd be pretty dope. Be cool to have more planets like the skybox on Promethea that just have, you know, different planetary effects, because they didn't experiment with the planets much. You got some cool environments like Necrodefeo and Promethea, but you don't have anything like Helios, or not Helios, the moon, whatever the moon's name. I forget what the moon's called. Fucking Elpis? Yeah, Elpis. You know, Elpis had low gravity and oxygen stuff, and I think they could have done more of that with these planets. Either done more dynamic weather stuff, not just a generic day and night cycle, but just dynamic weather and different kinds of modifiers or different sorts of effects, just to keep it unique. Make every planet feel like it's a totally different kind of arena.
I've got just the place for it at my bar.
Still think the future's really bright. Really excited for the November patch. Still having a ton of fun with it, but I do think that they've got to work on their endgame big time. That Paul Sage, he worked on Ultima Online, so they should definitely know what they're doing. Ultima Online was the shit. It's legendary. It had an amazing endgame. People played that for years. Here's hoping. Would like the jetpack take a green slot. Look, he did it. Upset? Not really. I really didn't know what was going to happen for endgame. I also haven't forced myself to play. I play it when I'm feeling it. I know the DLC is going to be worth my time, so I'm not forcing it. So upset in the sense of, I like how you said no expectations. Did you want to play this game over Destiny? Were you hoping that in some way this is a game that you would feel more inclined to play than Destiny? And not like 1 month later, you're over it. I know you're not over it, but there's no like want, urge, drive like you're feeling with other games to really dive in and do something. Especially after waiting 7 years. That sucks. They actually said they improved the stability of the game today. But I hadn't had a crash in a long time, so it's weird. I can't believe Shroud went to Mixer. That's nuts, dude. High G, half slide, distance, etc. Yeah, stuff like that. Stuff like that. Like, you could even experiment with that stuff in Mayhem, with the Mayhem rules, but I don't like Eden 6 very much. I think it's cool that they did the whole Jacob storyline, but it comes across as like Jacob's Cove or the Hammerlock DLC. There's not a lot that's special about that place, to me. I think they could have done more colors, made it more like a tropical thing. A lot of bright greens, dynamic weather, rainstorms, monsoons, really dense fog and mist. Really could have they could have done a lot with that planet, because it's big, and there's one of the people's favorite corporations behind it. So I just thought that planet could have been better. Could have been better. Because it just plays like all the planets at the end of the day, except for the skybox on Promethea, play like Pandora. And you've been across through Borderlands 1, 2, and all the DLCs, and all the Headhunter packs, a lot of different environments. Players have been through a lot of different environments on Pandora. to see that it's got all this stuff, like the Wildlife Preservation Preserve or Three Horn Divide, up to the Son of Crawlmax DLC and the Pirate DLC. You see that there's like tropical areas, and there's forest areas like Jacob's Cove and the Hammerlock DLC. So Eden 6, I think, needed to be... Let it out. Let that Son of Crawlmax colors out. Let that Pirate DLC colors out. But there isn't that. Prometheus cool because it has a lot of verticality, which is really ultimately very new to the franchise. It is new to the franchise. It has a really cool horizon and skybox. I think that Necrodefeo is by far the most unique planet. Even then, I think I would have liked to see some low G stuff. Who is Shroud? Shroud's a really, really popular streamer. He was a pro CSGO player. Though I didn't mention my leaving. It's all good, man. You don't got to. You don't got to. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. So, do you stream the Outer Worlds tomorrow then, something? Tomorrow I'm going to start, as I say. Hashtag sponsored. So Broman is doing Borderlands 3, but it's sponsored. I mean... Anyway, start with this, do some Bloody Harvest stuff, and then start Outer Worlds. After reading the patch notes, I'm excited to keep playing Borderlands 3. Yeah, the future looks bright, right? I mean, I've always thought the future looked bright, though. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. That I want to? Of course. I fucking love the entire Borderlands universe. I didn't get behind the hype of the endgame. Discord and stuff. I mean, I was hyped, but I wasn't like, I think it's gonna be the fucking tits. I just figured it would. I figured it would be more than what it was, though. And a lot of the problem with the endgame boils down into the fact that there were so many exploits and are still so many exploits. People used the porcelain bomb to annihilate the Grave Ward in 30 seconds flat, over and over and over again, offline on Mayhem 3, and got an insane amount of XP and loot out of it. And then they figured out how to do the loot tank, and that shit ended, basically completely disintegrated the endgame loop for people. There was no reason to do any other activity than those activities. And that's why I'm talking about having more mechanic-driven activities, not just farming bosses. Farming bosses is good. It should be like primarily a solo thing that you do, and it's always been fun. But having the Slaughter Dome and having the Proving Grounds just be like a way to get purples, and ultimately the Slaughter Dome is just something you kill a bunch of stuff in a short period of time to get a bunch of rewards. But that hurt them a bunch. I thought Mayhem mode would be, I thought the Guardian rank would be a lot more than what it is. The fact that it's soft capped, I mean, we haven't had a rank in hours and hours and hours because we're just too highly ranked and the XP dribbles in. I was hoping, sure, but I was also aware of that not being immediately the case. I was letting everything iron out the few months before getting back in pretty hard. Adam and I talk a lot about how when Borderlands 2 first came out that we didn't want to play anything else besides Borderlands 2, and there was such a huge community behind it, and there was so much focus and excitement and energy behind it, and it was so new and fresh. And there's a lot of stuff in 3 that is like new and exciting and fresh, but the experience has been a lot different. Probably the standard is higher, and that's part of it, but it's been disappointing as like a strictly Borderlands guy anymore to see. Ah, damn it. That Destiny 2 did so well with this latest event, this latest expensive DLC, because you know I've talked so much shit about it, and I still stand behind everything I've said because it's largely true. But I wanted this game to kick their ass.
Give me an assist.
And they do, you know, they clearly, Randy doesn't like Destiny. He's talked about that on Twitter, and he's been real coy about it. And they have a bunch of like inside. They've got a bunch of real sly digs at Destiny, like the lootograms. You know, how do you farm in Destiny? Oh, you go get all these engrams, you fill your inventory, then you go back to Earl. And what are 90% of engrams in this game? The lootograms. They're whites. There's a lot of digs like that.
Try and get through this.
And since they wanted to bring it, I'm glad they did, because somebody needed to, because it still doesn't forgive the shady business shit that was pulled all these years. problem is, gameplay-wise and game design-wise, it appears that they are losing. And, you know, they didn't bring it as much. People have something to go for. People feel extremely motivated. People feel really driven. There's a want. People seem very happy when they play Destiny. I can't deny those facts. So Destiny needs that endgame stuff. White drops pretty often. Well, yeah, I mean, I played all through the Destiny 1 stuff, and I played up through Destiny 2. I understand that, but fucking Destiny 2 was, to me, still unrewarding like that, too. I understand the dig. I'm not naive to the dig. I'm saying, but it is a dig. We're both on the same page with that. It's a dig, so... You know, and they showed up at Guardian Con, and they make fun of Dinklebot, and they should, man, because still, Destiny pulled a lot of bullshit, dude. The double XP that wasn't double XP, the fucking... You got it. Mandatory DLC, the only way you could do it was the expansion pack, and if you didn't buy the DLC, then you were locked out of the vanilla content. And we just go on and on and on and on and on and on. It was like Fallout 76 there for a while. A game that is now free, I paid $120 for. It's tough to drop that.
Come on, come on!
So I would much prefer that Borderlands was kicking that game's ass. But there's, you know, a lot of that is the behavioral psychologist. You get a... What has Destiny done? They hired behavioral psychologists to do their game design for them. They hired the same people that get you addicted to slot machines and casinos to do their gameplay loop. So there's a bit of Stockholm Syndrome sunken cost fallacy that goes into Destiny that is gonna just never go away. Because it's what they've crafted. This game chose not to craft that. It chose to go in the opposite direction. Hence why you can still to this day go offline, freeze the loot tank in place, and get every legendary you want. But the bad side of that is, it means their endgame loop is just broke. People either get what they want really easily and quickly, and there's no reason to do anything else because it's simply the most effective means, and then you lose all urgency or want to play because the flow is over. The loop has been completed. Your skill greatly overwhelms the challenge, and there's nothing or nothing to drive you forward, which I completely understand. It's a sad fact. You take the business ethics of this game, it's 100 times better than what Bungie and Destiny have been. It's on a whole nother level. This game has been honest, it's had integrity, it gives the players a fucking fantastic value. But if I look at the gameplay and the design, I see that Destiny has more compelling content, more things to drive you forward, more social content, and every time you play, there's some activity that you're gonna want to do and could do or want to do, and it's just, in that way, it's winning. Borderlands isn't making fun of you. You need to reevaluate your standing in pop culture. I've said that a bunch. Heard about the poll right now. Also, what's up, man? How's it going? Yo, way down south we get the Jeremiah. At this point, it's like which Fallout 76 debacle, Jeremiah. That the private servers aren't private. People can join them. That they're not your own worlds anyways. They're already looted. The shit's already dead. The box is already looted. So they're just... All they're doing is recycling an old server and giving it to you for the time being. That the trinket box deletes the shit that you put in there. And then, of course, it's also, just like yesterday, outrageously overpriced. I'm talking about this. Because it's just fucking insane, Von Hilger. Like, when you start digging a hole, quit digging. Never, I don't think, in the history of all gaming. I'm even talking the Crash and E.T. Making more copies of E.T. than there are copies of Atari in existence. I believe that this is now probably the greatest debacle, most infamous fiasco in all of gaming history. The amount of shit, the level of mismanagement, and the fact that it continues. If they would have just came out and had that thing be slightly bug free, like, yeah, okay, recycle worlds, we can fix that, maybe just that, and it was $5 a month. Even that now is way too pricey because it's fucking buggy. But it's asking for more than Netflix, and it's asking for more than Game Pass. It's just absolutely sad. It is sad. See, you know, like, something loves Skyrim. To see a content like Bethesda that so many people have so many fond memories with love so much, and I'm one of them, be like this. Todd. Maybe it's fucking Todd, because when they had, I think it was Ken Rolston. He's the guy who did Morrowind, he did Oblivion. That fucking company wasn't like that. Oh, Elder Suit, or FO5 being worth buying. FO5, is that Fallout 5? I mean, we won't see that forever. Starfield's gonna be the next big one. That's what comes out before even Elder Scrolls 6, but they're talking very, very little about that game. Scalebound. Any day now for Scalebound. I'm waiting a minimum of 4 months after any Bethesda release, entertaining the idea of getting it. That's smart. That's smart. It's just where we're at now, right? I mean, that used to be day one guaranteed. All a new Bethesda game. All a new Fallout. All a new Elder Scrolls. Fuck yeah. They were legends, dude. They were legends. They were fucking legends. And this is just... This has been pathetic at this point. The writing was on the wall from the beginning, and I wish I would have seen it. The false advertising on so many levels, you know, I'll pre-order now to play the beta. I thought that was horseshit. That's a lie. That's a fucking bull-faced lie. The whole Xbox exclusivity, the beta was like, you know, 6 hours total. 6 hours total on the Xbox, man. Bullshit. $60. Worst special edition Wilson and I have ever bought. Just not really functioning, not even at beta level, like alpha level at best when it first came out, and it just got worse and worse and worse. Now they claim that they've completely cleaned it up. Todd Howard said it's a perfect game now. It's made a complete turnaround. It's made a complete turnaround. People love it. People can't get over it. Biggest comeback in gaming. About that. What Starfield is, or Scalebound. Scalebound was going to be an Xbox exclusive that was supposed to come out like 2 years ago and got canceled, where you were in charge of dragons and you were like a summoner. There's a guy in Portugal who became a game designer, and Microsoft liked this stuff so much they were going to make a new exclusive IP, but they canceled it. Starfield is going to be the game that Bethesda comes out with before any other games. Elder Scrolls 6, they've said, is way down the line. First, they got to do Starfield. They said they've been working on Starfield for 10 years. Starfield was big at 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they had their first, like, trailer for Starfield, which was just literally a fucking title screen. Last year's E3, they didn't even talk about it.
Hiding or not, I still know you hear me.
Even violent! Come and get me!
Jeremiah, set your system locale to New Zealand, and you could be a cool kid like me and play it early. Wait, Outer Worlds? You already playing Outer Worlds something? I mean, Jeremiah. It was a day one purchase. I borrowed my girlfriend at the time's car to go buy Fallout 4 day one. Isn't that sad? That's not a good sign, man, when you piss off the hardcore fans. That's why, like, when we talk about Gearbox, it's in a weird place. You got someone like you, who's a hardcore, you're a hardcore Destiny guy, even though you've had love-hate moments with that game. But you loved Gearbox and Borderlands enough that you were there for the announcement of Borderlands 3. You were a Battleborn guy. And you're bored. You're bored with a game that you waited 7 years for. That to me is really worrisome. It's not because the game is bad, because the game is still good. But there's nothing keeping people around. It's next week in Kiwi Land. Wait, they're like 3 days ahead of us? What? Starfield was mentioned at E3, that was it. Oh, did they mention it again? Okay. Yeah, well, you're gonna have to wait a really long time for Elder Scrolls 6 is the point. There's not even a release date on Starfield yet. No one knows when that game's coming. And they've already said that Starfield and then it's Elder Scrolls 6. And, you know, you would imagine that after they release Starfield, they're gonna probably have to fucking try to save their ass on that game again, because it'll probably be a buggy mess like it always is. They're lucky in the sake that the true Bethesda, the main office Bethesda in Maryland, right? Or Massachusetts? Yeah, is it Bethesda in Massachusetts? Aren't they actually in like Bethesda, Massachusetts, something like that? Or are they in? I can't remember. They're in this. The point is, they're a United States company. Bethesda, Maryland. Nope. Hello. Okay, well, I don't know. They're in Maryland. Okay, I thought they were in Maryland. Is that what I said? I can't fucking... Boston, Massachusetts. No, that's not what I said at all. Point is, they're an American company, all right? And the main studio is still working on... they're working on Starfield. They're not working on 76. So... I don't know where they're at, but I do know that they're working on Starfield because it's Austin Bethesda that's working on 76. The main company is no longer on that game. Which might explain a lot, I guess. When the game's released the day before, 7 a.m. Eastern, and unfortunately not my time. Download times are terrible. So most people are on Outer Worlds tomorrow. I kind of figured the Halloween event would get people really fucking psyched. I can't believe Broman. I mean, that tells you everything. In order for Broman to come back and play some Borderlands, it's got to be sponsored content. But that's fucking predictable. That guy loves Destiny like nobody's business. I am only suggesting that when it was Borderlands 2, this wasn't the case. Everybody was on that game's dick, and nobody saw any signs of stopping anytime soon and loved it. And I want to see that happening for 3. Damn it. Keep not killing it. As far as I'm concerned, 76 on a schedule. They're not changing anything to respond to criticism. It's merely to make money. Well, fuck yeah. Look at Fallout Shelter. Dude, they saw Fallout Shelter. Remember they've talked about this at E3. That Fallout Shelter made them... has had more players than any Fallout game combined. Because it's on mobile, it's on, you know, it's on every platform, and you have access to the whole market. Not just that, and that's what all these companies are looking at. Like, that's why Blizzard put Diablo on the phone. You got us who play PC and we play console, and yeah, we're a pretty big community. We're a lot of people. But you come to find out, we're not anything compared to fucking Sally Soccer Mom and your Grandma Jeannie and Uncle Todd, who have never owned a PC or a console in their life, but they do have a phone and they actually like games if they have easy access to them. So that's a fucking massive market. You go from accessing 15 million people to 150 million people overnight. And every company saw that. They saw that and they combined it with the potential of the live service. That's what Fallout 76 is. Fallout Shelter is passive income. They don't update it anymore. They don't do anything. Occasionally they sell. They'll have a sale for, you know, robots and their little loot boxes in there. Okay? But that's it. That game had an update in like 16 where they added quests. And since then, it just fucking sits there and it makes passive income like nothing. It's one of the best mobile games, unfortunately. It is for that genre. It's extremely good for that genre. Still dislike that genre altogether, but fucking game makes bank for them. And they saw that and they thought, Jesus, this is the easiest thing. If you get these games set up, these live service games, and you get as many people as possible into them, then once you've got it stabilized and it's pretty good and there's good word of mouth and the rating's solid enough, you can just fucking let it burn there for as long as you want and it will continue to make money. There's no physical copies, there's no maintenance, there's no employees you have to really hire except for a skeleton crew to make sure the servers are okay. That's it. That's been, to my opinion, the ultimate goal of 76. Is you've got it because there is that cult. The guy who claimed the Fallout first domain, he said the exact same word that we were saying yesterday here on stream. It's a cult. There is a group that loves the Fallout license. And no matter how much bullshit Bethesda rings that IP through the mud, they will always buy whatever has Fallout to it because they think it's cool, they think it's neat, they love it. It's their clique. Their clique is the Vault Boy. Their clique is the $76 leather jacket. Their clique is the fucking $15 piece of junk trinket you put on your desk. You buy a nuke core and it's $55. It's just a plastic piece of shit, but you buy it because it belongs to your club. Alright, those people will continue. And they will buy Fallout first. And Bethesda knows it. Apparently there's nothing you can do that'll convince these people to leave the club. Because, you know, the thing about Fallout, especially like someone like you also would know, it's really dark and it's irreverent and it's funny. And it's just a cool world, right? A lot of you guys know a lot about the lore in Fallout. It's just a really cool world with a great story. And it has its own unique retro future, you know, Americana art style. The power, it's got a great iconography. It's easy to sell that shit because it's like selling Rockstar merchandise. You know that the early Fallouts and even Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas still maintain that irreverent thing. You know, real tongue-in-cheek, kind of making fun of fucking everything. Real dark, real violent, but also at the same time telling some really meaningful stories. Well, all that goodwill of being a really genuine piece of art has been cashed in to the full extent that they'll allow it to be cashed in. With the understanding that, like, when you go and you buy a shirt that says, you know, Rage Against the Machine, you buy a t-shirt that says Rage Against the Machine, you're like, you've bought into the whole thing. They claim they're not sellouts, but you can buy their fucking t-shirts for 20 bucks a pop. And you're telling the world, look, I'm not a sellout. I'm into the shit that rebels against the system. And that's what Fallout represents for a lot of gamers, in my opinion, is look, I'm into this shit that basically gives a middle finger to something or another. Yet the irony now is that Fallout doesn't stand for any of those things anymore. Is YouTube being fucking right-click, search stats for nerds, Coac, it won't play in Streamlabs. Ah, man. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. I really do. Sorry about the download times, Jeremiah. I mean, it's horseshit. It's really too bad. I'd still love the map of Appalachia. I'll be real with you. We've talked about this all week. And it's in the news, so it makes sense, but... Like, 76 could be so cool on paper. That's all it is. It's like something said about the whole outline thing. It's what it is. It's an outline. But look, you got... We're a little bit spoiled, you know. Borderlands, even though people aren't playing it as much, and there's kind of a... There's excitement, but it's real tepid. It's still a great game. And in the future, I think it's only going to continue to get better and better if they go the right... If they take the right steps, and I believe they will, and I really hope they will. Like I say, Gearbox has never left a game in bad shape. Ever. Even Battleborn, they left that game in as good a shape as they could possibly leave it. They left both Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1 as a game that you could log in, play to this day, and just lose yourself in. And I think that's going to happen times 100 with this game in the end. And Destiny 2 kicks ass. So that makes it all the harder for Bethesda. In a roundabout way, that's what I'm getting at. But that makes it all the harder for Bethesda to say, hey, this game's 2 years old. It's had tons of problems. It's infamous for ripping people off, from the Nuka Rum to the canvas bag kerfuffle, the beta that wasn't a beta. We've mismanaged the shit out of this thing from beginning to end. But we believe in our minds that the product that we are offering is worth a premium. And it is a premium. Again, more than Netflix, more than Game Pass, more than Xbox Live. $5 would have been sensible. $5 and an explanation right at the very beginning that this is how it was going to be in order for them to support it, continue it. $5 and it is a private server. You get to host it exactly like Minecraft. You set it up for your buddies and it's there permanently for you and only you and your friends who you want to be in there to enjoy that world. Nobody can join in it and it should be basically bug-free. But that's the exact opposite of what everyone got. It was $12.99, $100 annually. The trinket box deletes your shit. It's not a private world. People can just jump in. And it's just a recycled old server that they're basically borrowing to you. So all the loot's already gone. All the bosses have already been killed. The events might already be farmed out. And you paid more than Netflix or Game Pass for that. It's just plain old-fashioned dumbfounding at this point. It is absolutely dumbfounding at this point.
Need some cover.
One moment!
This will be just for the crack.
And I don't know why there isn't a response. You know, when you get a guy like Co Carnage, a big streamer who's well respected, been around a long time, made a living on this platform, and you know he's played a lot of games and he has a history on here. Those types of streamers don't usually say much negative about games ever. And if he is saying, hey, this is really sad, you're just cashing in on this franchise, which is basically what he said, you have some pride. Have some pride. Have some pride that you have a lot of people, a lot of smart people that work at your studio, and you have a lot of fans who have loved your games for a long time. Like I've said, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind is my favorite game ever. It's something. He borrowed his girlfriend's car to go get Fallout 4 day one. A lot of you have these memories with Von Helger still plays Oblivion. These games are amazing. Wilson still plays Elder Scrolls Online and played the shit out of all the others. Like, many of us in this stream and in the whole gaming world love those games. So it hurts. In many ways it hurts. It's not like you lose sleep and tear in your beer, but it's like, man, fucking thought. You thought in 2019 when you were playing those Oblivion or Morrowind or Fallout 3 or 4, like, you just thought that coming into 2020, there would probably be some fucking amazing, suck your life away Elder Scrolls or Fallout game. Like, that seemed to be where it was heading. Like, oh man, imagine Morrowind with modern technology. Daggerfall was my jam. So you go back. You go back, Lex. I remember when Rat Ram, after loudly decrying capitalism, the headlines Lollapalooza with a sponsorship. Yeah, right. Exactly. Hey, and I'm not against that, alright? I never claimed I'm not a, like, sellout or a capitalist or anything like that. Like, that's convenient and it's easy to say that, and then the money starts rolling in, so I'm not gonna claim either direction, but the whole, like, fuck you, you want, you know, fuck you. How can I forget the, like, fucking, I'll just keep saying that. There we go. All rhythm and flow to my entire thing is now gone. All eloquence is out the window. Let's just start talking like I'm a 16-year-old in Smoker's Alley. F this and F this. Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you... Yeah, okay, thank you. I remembered it. About to lose some real points there. Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, goddamn right, yeah. But then you walk into any Spencer's anywhere in the world, I can buy tennis shoes, and I can buy a sucker, and I can buy a fucking breast pump, and a dildo, and a t-shirt, 2XL, and without fail, there'll always be somebody with like 18,000 piercings, a nose gauge for, you know, God knows what reasons, making mom proud, a tattoo on their eyeball. Just got out of jail for telling a cop who was just like, are you okay? Like, they were at a party, they got way too drunk, and the cop came in, he's like, are you okay? He's like, fuck you, you won't tell me. Spat in his face, so he got arrested, did some time in jail. Like, there's always that guy who's still buying the party line that this is about sticking it to the man. When every ounce of what is happening here represents the man. And that is what it is. It's just a business, man. Yay, memory. The amazing Fallout game is Outer Worlds. I like what's being said about the Outer Worlds, though, Jeremiah. It's like, it's more than that. It's more than that. The Outer Worlds is apparently, we haven't played it yet. I'm not going to say much about it, but, you know, it's its own thing. It's more than what, it's much more than a Fallout clone. It's where Fallout probably should have headed, is the way people are talking, but that's not my opinion. I haven't played it yet, so I can't say anything. Oh, definitely much more than that. Are you actually playing it now, Jeremiah? Killing in the Name. In the 90s, Pearl Jam refused to play Ticketmaster venues, so they had to play in, like, bumfuck nowhere. In 2012, they released an album through Target. Times change. Yeah, times change, right? And the money changes. And hey, I think an artist deserves pay. The whole record business is a nasty affair. That's why Pussifer, one of Maynard's bands, is independent. But you go independent also knowing that it's a business. You produce music, you sell albums, you want to sell merch. And I think just accepting that from the beginning that would be the ideal. I mean, the times, like you say, have changed. Jim Morrison threatened to quit the Doors if they did a car commercial. That doesn't happen today. Yeah, the Doors, they do a great live shows and they sell their albums, but at the same time, Jim Morrison was not going to let the Doors be in a fucking car commercial. To him, that was selling out. And now you get like Elton John. He's the ultimate corporate musician. He was really good, really talented. He should be able to cash in on his skills, but I don't think he's made a song in like 30 years, and yet he's got one of those big music autobiography films. He had that giant deal with Best Buy. He's retired like 15 times. And it's perfect. You don't have to make any music that way. Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart is a multi-millionaire. How is he a multi-millionaire? Elevator music. Like, just having simple copyrights for songs, like the birthday song, will bring you a huge influx of constant passive income because of copyright law. Again, I'm not against that, but there's an irony to it.
Tossing barrier! Come on, show me what you got.
Look at Korn. I mean, I love, like, listening to Korn to work out. I love
End of the road for
y'all
you.
want a single say, fuck that. It's like, fuck that. Fuck that. Early Korn, it's so angry. They were so full of drugs and they were so fucking off their rocker. Like, it's just, you could just really feel it, man. Irony of ironies, that became one of the biggest corporate bands there was. They couldn't get any bigger. They had huge tour buses, a massive influx of money. My download speed is dog shit. Oh, okay. Well, I know you said your download speed was dog shit. I thought, hey, maybe something changed, because you said it was much more than that. If you become Adam, I'm going to call you out, Jeremiah, because I'm going to say, right now you and I are in dangerous territory. We are what I like to call Adam territory, Jeremiah, because we're all excited, really excited to play The Outer Worlds. And we're all going to be like, yeah, it's probably going to be the greatest game ever. I'd imagine. Maybe even better than the greatest game ever. It's probably going to finally solve all our problems. That Bethesda now sucks. That The Elder Scrolls isn't coming around anytime soon. And that we're bored of other games. And I think Outer Worlds is probably going to solve that hole in our heart. And by and large, disappointingly, so few games ever heal that hole in your heart. You have full permission to call me out if I start saying this stuff too. We're all in hype mode, because what is it, like 6 hours we get to play, You know, the whole music thing, though, that just ties back into the Fallout license. That's why we got on that tangent to begin with, is that the Fallout license represents to a lot of people something that they grew up with, and those games had a certain message behind them. And it wasn't, you know, like F democracy or like the United States is stupid. It was deeper than that. It was about, you know, like us losing control of the system. And that maybe the powers that be would prefer war. Maybe they aren't always actively working in our best interests. And there's a lot of social commentary that isn't like heavy-handed. They're not actually trying to change the system, but at the same time they're making a point. They're telling really good stories in the meantime, and they're building a really satisfying RPG to experience those stories through. And that gets a lot of goodwill, and those games are art. Those early games up through Fallout 4. I would argue Fallout 4 should be included in that catalog. Our art. And Fallout 76 is the exact opposite. And in a disappointing turn of events, because of the goodwill and the sort of, as I say, iconography that game translated to people, that it was like Rage Against the Machine, they're still buying the $50 power core that sits on the toilet bowl of your commode. Was a Cold War nightmare. Yeah, definitely. What's the premise of the Outer Worlds? So humanity has settled a bunch of planets. You know, we're now a multi-star faring race. But instead of like governments running the planets, corporations run the planets. Pretty similar to Borderlands, actually. Except, you know, it's Obsidian. We did Coder 2 and did Fallout New Vegas and a bunch of other stuff. And so you can just expect really, really good stories. And it's more like going back to Fallout 3 or Knights of the Old Republic or any of those old Mass Effect games, like dialogue options. Lots of dialogue options, and dialogue options have a huge influence over the chain of events that starts to occur, and more, and also getting back to basics, that classic RPG thing where you can't, you know, like Fallout 3, like there's not necessarily a bad way to play that, and you get to a point where you can pretty much max all your stats and have all the Pip Boys and shit, and you're just really strong. Whereas like Fallout New Vegas or those older school RPGs, as you would know, Lex, you choose like a perk and there's like a negative to it, like, oh, you're really good at shooting sniper rifles. That's fine. That means you have like 50 less health, or you're really fast, so therefore you consume a lot more food and water. So that when you go down a build, you're still making decisions that have repercussions, both positive and negative, towards your character. So, you know, they force you into a role. Okay, you can't just win all the time. There's always a weakness to every strength. So, also one of those. That's the Outer Worlds is, oh, okay, you're really strong, therefore you're gonna be like our character in New Vegas. You fucking say ooh, and you grunt, just grunt a bunch. You can't even talk really. Oh, what's this thing? I've never found this before. Huh. Recoils, hella strong. Outer Worlds is a Corporate Nightmare type of game, so it'll be interesting to see what it does. Yeah. It's people are, I like this description. They're saying it's Fallout without the apocalypse. Like, it's actually a pretty nice, think about a science fiction BioShock combined with Fallout, and then combined with just old school RPGs. Story above all, tell a really compelling story, make you feel like you are actively playing a role, hero, protagonist, neutral person, in a world that was going on before you ever entered it, and now it's your turn to play your card in it. And when you build your character, like Dungeons and Dragons or any ye old RPG, you can't just become a god. You're gonna have a function. Of course, you know, those RPGs still make you strong, but you're strong in like this limited window. What I would love to see forward is Arcanum. Old game was a steampunk Fallout. Arcanum. I've heard the word before. I've heard that title before, but I don't. What was it like? You say it was a steampunk Fallout?
Your leader's trapped in the crapper.
Kill this scum! I'll take care of him!
Oh, hey, it's who is it? It says Badass Zealot. Usually they have a name. I guess whoever made this one wasn't here. I got really lucky there, and somebody walked right in front of the shotgun. Steampunk Fallout 1 magic versus tech. That's cool. Are you gonna get Cyberpunk? People are saying Cyberpunk is another ode to the old school RPGs. But so is The Witcher, you know? Obviously The Witcher